Hello friends, this is Prashant. Today I'm revising with you chapter 1 to 7a. Now this is the portion for your CET test. It is multiple choice questions. There is no holiday. So in very short time how to revise this entire physics, right? That tricks and tips I'm going to give. For you start with the first chapter onwards. Don't jump from fourth chapter, third chapter, fifth chapter, or don't try to go from seventh chapter onwards. You follow textbook order. That is the best thing. First chapter, there is a name of the chapter is force. In first chapter, you have to do. In very first page, there is a one question key. What will happen if the body is free to move? It gives you translational motion. If the body is pivoted, it gives you rotational. Rotation could be either clockwise or anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise movement is considered as positive, clockwise movement is negative. Then, moment of force, definition they can ask. Moment of force depends on what factors? It is the magnitude of force and the perpendicular distance. More the perpendicular distance, less is the force required. And that is the reason when we use a spanner, branch length of that handle is long. So by increasing the perpendicular distance, less force is required. Then, moment of force is a vector quantity. SI unit is Newton meter. You cannot write as joule because work is a scalar quantity. Numerically, value of both work and joule, that is joule and Newton meter is same, but one is a scalar, other is a vector. Vector is moment of force and work is a scalar quantity. Then, can moment of force be zero even if force is not equal to zero? Yes. If force is applied at hinges, if the perpendicular distance is zero, right? Then there is a term called as couple. Definition of couple aega, then couple, then definition of moment of couple. Now couple is a two equal and opposite parallel forces not acting along the same line form a couple. So example of couple is your cap of a bottle, right? Steering wheel, all these are example of couple. Wrench is also example of couple. Lock and key is also example couple. Then moment of couple is a product of magnitude of either force into perpendicular distance. Again same thing, that the perpendicular distance between the two forces, that is called coupling, that is AB is called coupling. Then there is a definition of equilibrium. Then there are two types of equilibrium, static and dynamic. Static means bodies at rest, dynamic means bodies in motion. Raindrop, aeroplane, satellite is revolving around the earth, or electrons are revolving around the nucleus. All these are examples of dynamic equilibrium. Then there is a principle of moments. So beam balance or physical balance is example of principle of moments. Now according to principle of moments, in equilibrium, total anti-clockwise moment is equal to total clockwise moment. This is about the part A. In part A, numericals, if you say, then there is an important numerical like 4th, there is an important numerical like 9th, 16, 15, 14, then 17 and 18. These are frequently asked questions. So they can ask 4 more questions from 9th, 14th, right? This kind of questions they can ask. Then we'll come to the second part, that is center of gravity. Definition of center of gravity. Then center of gravity depend upon the distribution of mass, how mass is distributed. If the body is deformed, the position of center of gravity will be changed. It is not necessary that the position of center of gravity is always within material body. It could be outside also. Hollow cone, hollow sphere, whatever is a hollow, it is not on that. It could be outside also. Then next is, there is a table given in that there are 9 physical quantities are given along with their position of center of gravity. Now there is a frequently asked question. Say if you take a hollow cone, the center of gravity is at h by 3 from base along the axis. But sometimes they will ask from vertex. What will be with from vertex? So what vertex is from the top. So total height minus that h by 3 or that will give you 2h by 3, and accordingly they can ask question. Suppose you have an irregular shaped body. So how to determine the position of center of gravity? So for that the method is called plumb line method. It is called plumb line method. Then why the racing car has heavy and broad base? It is based on the principle of center of gravity. Lower the center of gravity, more is the stability. Then in part C, you have uniform circular motion. The question आएगा कि why uniform circular motion is called as accelerated motion. So in uniform circular motion, speed is same but velocity is different at different point, and therefore it is called accelerated motion. Then you have difference between uniform circular motion and uniform linear motion. Then centripetal force, centrifugal force, three different points of differentiation. One is the definition. For centripetal force, force is directed towards the center. For centrifugal, it is pointing away from center. Centripetal is a real force because it arises due to some known interaction. Centrifugal force is a pseudo force because it is due to some unknown interaction. Centripetal force is required for uniform circular motion, so centrifugal force is the effect of uniform circular motion. The examples of centripetals are given. Centripetals are given in the book. Electrons are revolving around the nucleus, satellite is revolving, stone is revolved in a horizontal circle. So these are examples of centripetal force. Centrifugal means centrifuge machine, bulging of earth, washing machine, it merry-go-round. All these are examples of centrifugal force. This is about the chapter 1. Right? We'll go to now chapter 2, and then I will discuss with what tips extra that you have to focus. Second chapter में work done is the dot product of two vector quantities, force and displacement. Work is a scalar quantity, so W is equal to F bar dot S bar, which is Fs cos theta. So if theta is 0, theta is 90, theta is 180. These are the three cases. Theta 0, cos 0 is 1, work done is maximum. Theta 90, cos 90 is 0, work done is minimum, which is 0. And if theta is 180, cos 180 is minus 1, that is called negative work done. So example of each is very important, especially for 180 degree work done against friction, body is thrown against gravity, all these parts. Then after that part, there are two graphs, work done by variable force, so it is a straight line, right, making inclination with the time axis, with the displacement axis. So area under that part will give you the work done. Then for work done for a constant force, so in that there is a square or rectangle, so area under that will be the work done. Then SI unit of work is joule, CGS will be erg, 1 joule is 10 raised to 7 erg. Then power is rate of doing work. Power depends on two factors, one is the work done and second is the time. More the time, less is the power. That is the relation. Then power is equal to force into velocity. Watt is the SI unit of power. Then kilowatt, megawatt, right, all these are given. Then milli is 10 raised to minus 3 watt. Giga is 10 raised to 6 watt, right, all that part. Giga is 9, sorry, mega will be 10 raised to 6, giga will be 10 raised to 9. Then you have a horsepower, 1 HP is equal to 746 watt. So we have to convert from say watt to kilowatt, watt to horsepower, you have to divide by 746. Then energy is the capacity of a body to do work, right? Work and energy will be same. Energy का SI unit is also joule. Other units will be electron volt. 1 EV is equal to 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 joule. फिर 1 horsepower is equal to 1 horsepower 746 watt, that we have done. 1 kilowatt hour is a commercial unit of electrical energy. 1 kilowatt hour is 3.6 into 10 raised to 6 joule, which is 3.6 megajoule. Then 1 watt hour also is there, which is 3.6 into 10 raised to 3 joule, 3.6 kilojoule. Electron volt, 1 EV is equal to 1.6 10 raised to minus 19 joule. This is about part A. Part A के numericals में you have 7th numerical 8, then 12, 13, 14 and 16. These are frequently asked questions. In part B, you have mechanical energy. Mechanical energy is divided into two parts. One is gravitational potential energy, potential energy and kinetic energy. Potential energy is due to state of rest, kinetic is due to motion. So potential के दो टाइप है, gravitational potential energy, elastic potential energy. kinetic energy is divided into three parts: translational, rotational and vibrational, right? Next part में how kinetic energy and momentum are related. So k is equal to p square upon 2m. So here they can ask question for same kinetic energy, if more the mass, more is the momentum, or for same momentum, kinetic energy is inversely proportional to mass, right? More the mass, less is the kinetic energy. Then work energy theorem. So statement, you just learn that part because they can ask statement as an option, right? Then you have different types of energy: translation, rotation, vibration, all that part of kinetic energy, difference between potential and kinetic. Then on page number 35 there is a energy conversion. Almost there are around 6 and 2 thus 12 conversions plus 6, that is total 18 conversions are there. That 18 conversions you should know. They are frequently asked question. Definitely there will be 1 or 2 questions from this part only, right? This is very important. Then when we go to C part, just the B part ke numericals, if you go, then according to me, 9th, 13, 17, 18, 19, 22, 23, all these are frequently asked questions. In parts, if you check, there is a law of conservation of energy. So according to law of conservation energy, energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. It is just transformed from one form to another. So then there is a that part, total energy, freely falling body. When the body is at highest point, it possesses only potential energy. Kinetic energy will be 0. When the body is in between, say point B, so it possesses both potential as well as kinetic. And when the body is reaching ground, so it possesses only kinetic energy. Potential energy will be 0. Then there is a graph of total energy against height. So this the line which is going inclined with the if the slope is in say accelerated, it's kind of acceleration, then there is a potential energy and other part will be kinetic energy, right? Then oscillating pendulum. When the pendulum is oscillating at main position, it possesses only kinetic energy. At both extreme position, it possesses only potential energy. All that part. In part C, there are 3 numericals, very important: 4, 5 and 6, right? In machine part, very important, machine, the technical term like MA, VR. Why MA and VR are not having units, right? They are pure number because it is a ratio of 2 similar quantities. Then for a given machine design, which quantity will remain same? Which will remain same? That is called velocity ratio, right? Next part will be efficiency is equal to MA upon VR. Then they have work input is work done by effort, work output, work done by machine on load, all that part, right? That kind of question they can ask. According to principle of machine, load into load arm is equal to effort into effort arm. That is a part. फिर why machines is why actual machine is not 100% efficient? So there are 3 reasons. That 3 reasons you should know. Like the moving parts are not perfectly, neither wetless nor smooth. String, if it is used, then it is not perfectly rigid, and different parts are not perfectly rigid. Then lever part is not there. So lever is not there. So big part is removed. You can say numericals of part A is also not there. Directly go to part B. Part B में you have pulley. There are 2 types of pulley: single fixed, single movable. In single fixed pulley, MA is 1, VR is 1 for ideal case. For actual case, MA will be less than, but VR equal to 1. Right? For single movable, MA1, so MA2, VR2. This is for ideal, but for practical machine, VR is 2, but MA will be more than 1, but less than 2. Then they can ask ki what is the function of single fixed pulley. It is just to change the direction of effort, right? And what is the function of single movable pulley? It is used to change the it is act as a force multiplier, right? You will part. Then in block and tackle system, just take care ki when they ask different types of block and tackle system, read the question properly, because when they ask ki effort is in downward direction or nothing is mentioned, that means effort is in downward direction, then VR is equal to total number of pulleys in both the blocks. In textbook statement is given ulta, which is wrong. VR is equal to total number of pulleys in both the blocks, and MA is equal to number of strands of tackle supporting load when effort is in downward. When the effort is in upward direction, then VR is whatever is the number of pulleys plus 1. MA is equal to number of strands plus 1. That is, suppose there are 4 pulleys, so VR will be 5 in case of effort is in upward direction. Right, that kind of question they can ask. Then on page number 65, effect of weight of pulley on MA. So MA is equal to that N minus W upon E. VR is equal to N. That kind of question they can ask. Our efficiency is 1 minus W upon N into E. Right? Why that efficiency is not 100%? Reason that you can get from that. If you check the numerical from page, part B, then there is a second numerical, third, fourth, then fifth, right? Then 10th. These are some frequently asked questions. Now come to chapter number 4, that is refraction of light at plane surface. In this part, at normal incidence, angle of incidence will be 0. So when the ray of light is going from one medium to another, only frequency remains same, baki sab kuch will change. Then laws of refraction are there. Then the refractive index has no unit. So refractive index, absolute refractive index is always greater than 1. It cannot be less than 1. Then why refractive index is not having any unit, right? Then the relative refractive index, absolute refractive index, reference. Then when we write refractive index of glass with respect to air is a ratio of VA upon VG, right, which is equal to lambda A upon lambda G, all that part. But the mu is inversely proportional to velocity or inversely proportional to wavelength. Then reversibility principle, A mu G is equal to 1 upon G mu A, all that part. Then lateral displacement, that diagram that can be asked, diagram based question that can be asked. The lateral displacement depends upon 3 factors: thickness of glass depth, angle of incidence, and the refractive index. So these are the 3 factors. Then in part B, you have a prism. So they can ask monochromatic beam of light is incident. Then they give you 4 options, right? Accordingly, you choose this option. Then I delta graph. So delta is on y-axis, I is on x-axis. So that curve, Nike ka sine wala curve, right? When delta is delta m, I equal to E. Then delta m is equal to 2i minus A. Then angle of deviation depends upon what factors? So angle of factors affecting angle of deviation, angle of incidence, material, angle of prism, and color or wavelength of the light used. Then next part में part C, you have the real and apparent depth. So refractive index is equal to real depth upon apparent depth, or shift is equal to real depth minus apparent depth. Shift is also equal to RD bracket में 1 minus 1 upon A mu m. This is that part. Then you have examples of consequences of refraction of light. These are some examples, right? Then part D में you have total internal reflection. So what are the conditions for TIR, right? So that conditions of TIR में critical angle आते हैं. What exactly is the critical angle? It is the angle of incidence in denser medium for which angle of refraction in rarer will be 90 degree. That is called critical angle. Then critical angle depends upon 3 factors. एक तो refractive index, inversely proportional, color or wavelength directly proportional, and third is temperature, which is also directly proportional. Then a critical angle is constant for a given pair of medium. जैसे water के लिए 48 degree something minutes. Then what glass के लिए it is 42 degree. For diamond it is 25 degree. These are approximate values, right? So you should know this part. Then इसके बाद now next part will be total inter-reflection diagrams, or turning the light by 90 degree, right? Then turning its application also, uses of that part, that is periscope, reflecting prism, right, is used. Then दूसरा part will be deviation of light to 180 degree. The use is binocular or camera to invert the image of without loss of intensity. Then erecting prism, that is we can say slide projector. Then turn deviation of light through 60 degree. Then 60 deviation through less than 60 prism, like 30, 60, 90 prism, all that part, that diagram, complete the following. That kind of question can be asked for 4 marks. Then applications of TIR, right? That is very, very, very important question. Now next is we'll go with the 5th chapter. In 5th chapter there is a part called as lens. So different types of lens: convex, concave. Convex के 3 types, that is double convex, equiconvex, then we can say plano-convex, concave, convex, right? And similar types with the concave. Then technical terms like center of gravity, radius of curvature, just read that part properly because they may ask define. Then focal length of lens depends upon 2 factors. One is the radius of curvature, directly proportional, and second is the refractive index, which is inversely proportional. That is the reason when you immerse lens in water, focal length will increase, because when you immerse that lens in water, uska relative refractive index will decrease, so focal length will increase. Then if half part of lens is covered, then focal length will remain same, only intensity of image will decrease. Now ray diagram, in that ray diagram they won't ask you to draw, but you should know where is the object placed. In case of convex, where will be the image form, right? That kind of questions, right? I will go according to the magnification. Acha, first we'll go with the sign convention. So in sign convention, you know that key, when the object is at infinity, the image is formed at focus, so characteristic will be real inverted and diminished to a point. When the object is at far distance, image is formed at focal plane, characteristic will be real inverted and highly diminished. When the object is beyond 2f1, image will be formed between f2 and 2f2. Your characteristic will be real inverted and diminished, and your magnification is negative and less than 1, because negative magnification indicate that it is a real image. When the object is at 2f1, image is at 2f2, real inverted same size, and your magnification is -1. When the object is between f1 and 2f1, image is formed beyond 2f2, so real inverted and magnified, and magnification will be more than 1 but negative. Right? When the object is at f1, image is formed at infinity. Right? When the object is between f1 and O, virtual, erect and magnified image is formed. Magnification is positive, but it is more than 1. That is for convex. For concave, your sign conventions are very simple. U, V, F, all are negative, and U is always greater than F. And here we can see magnification is always positive and less than 1. Right? That is the part. Then C part में you have power of lens. Then P is equal to 1 upon F. P will be in diopter. Focal length is in meter. So for convex lens, focal length is always positive. The power is positive. For concave, focal length is negative. The magnification is negative. Then you have uses of lenses. That part you should do, because that is nothing is there. Now we'll go to the next chapter, that is very important, spectrum. Spectrum का first part में you have definition of dispersion, cause of dispersion, definition of spectrum, then which color deviate more, which color deviate less. So if you check that part, there is a polychromatic light. 4B में you have monochromatic light, here it is polychromatic. The polychromatic split into 7 constituent colors. Why? Because all colors are moving with the same speed in air, but as they enter glass, different color has different speed. That is the reason. Then which color deviate most? The violet deviate most. Which color deviate less? It is a red, because it is inversely proportional to wavelength. Then in B part, you have electromagnetic spectrum. Out of that you have only UV rays and infra in our scope. So UV and infra का main तो sources, detection, uses. These are the 3 main important parts. Other name of this UV rays is actinic rays, that is can be asked. actinic rays are used in fake currency detection. There are so many examples, uses are given that you have to follow. Now we'll go with the last part of this next chapter, that is sound. Sound part A, you have only part A. With part A, in first part you have question key V is equal to F into lambda, F is equal to 1 upon T, that kind of question they can ask. Then difference between light waves, sound waves, that can be question asked. Okay, velocity of transverse will depend upon root of T by M. T is the tension, M is mass per unit length. Right, velocity of longitudinal wave is V is equal to under root gamma P by rho. Right, D is given, D is the density. Right, फिर definition of echo, then definition of reverberation, condition for hearing echo distinctly. 3 conditions are there. So minimum distance is 17 meter in air, it is 70 meter in water. So if you change the medium, the minimum distance will change. There is a persistence of hearing, that effect of given sound will be there on our eardrum for 0.1 second. If the reflected sound reaches our eardrum before 0.1, echo is not heard because human ears are not sensitive. But if it reaches after 0.1, then echo can be heard distinctly. फिर uses of echo में है sound range in echo depth sounding. Then why ultrasonic waves are used in sonar, that reasons are given. Then use of echo by bat, dolphin, fisherman, right, all that part. Sonar का full form, which waves are used in sonar. Radar का full form, which waves are used in radar. And sonar and radar में difference क्या है, that kind of a question can be asked. Then you have numericals. If you check the numerical from this part, if you take the numerical from this part, so according to me, first, 5th, 8th, 10th and 12th, these are frequently asked questions. So 12th question can be asked, 10th can be asked. That is one important question, right? Now students, if you want some say numerical problem, if you have some numerical problem, so all my numerical videos are already uploaded on this YouTube, so you can just go through it. Now this video is only prepared for those students what to give a guideline. I'm not revising everything, I'm just to give guideline how to prepare and what to prepare, right? Don't skip anything, and don't take physics is very difficult, or don't take it into mind कि physics is very difficult, I don't know physics, nothing is there. No, it is not that way. You have studied for 6 months, more than 6 months properly, and you have done enough, right? You last moment you just pray कि whatever you have done, that is enough, and you can get full marks, that is 40 on 40 in physics, right? That's it for this video. All the best. Thank you.